Welcome to Old Casebook. Tonight, we open a forgotten file from the past. The chilling murder of Biddy Porter. A violent death, a silent community, and questions that were never fully answered. In an age where truth was easily buried, this case vanished into the shadows of history. Let us begin. Bridget Betty Porter was a 10-year-old girl from New South Wales whose short life embodied creativity, compassion, passion, and an early sense of justice. Bright and expressive, she dreamed of becoming a journalist, a goal that reflected both her natural talent for writing and her deep curiosity about the world. While many children her age admired pop stars or Disney Channel heroes, Biddy looked up to Australian journalists, covering her bedroom walls with their photographs. Writing came easily to her, and she was known for her clever, empathetic reflections on life. Her mother, Rebecca Porter, described her as an incredible writer, funny, caring, and fond of playing tricks on her family. The youngest of 3 children, and the only daughter of Rebecca and Dominic Porter, Biddy was deeply loved and adored. She was affectionately spoiled and slept in her parents' bed until she was 9, a memory her parents now hold close. Even as a small child, she showed instinctive courage and empathy, once stepping in to stop an older student from bullying another at school. A small but powerful glimpse into her brave and kind nature. Beyond her dream of journalism, Biddy loved animals, poetry, music, and art. Her father remembered her as highly intelligent and gifted, with remarkable musical talent, a child who loved life and had so much to give. At her local primary school, she was well-liked and imaginative, and her warmth touched everyone around her. Betty's life was full of promise, a story meant to be about growing up, learning, and dreaming. Not one destined for tragedy. But during the winter holidays, in the early morning hours of July 8th, 2020, at approximately 6:30 a.m., that promise was brutally taken. While Rebecca was on her way to work, she received a phone call from her former father-in-law asking, "What's happened to Bridget?" Moments later, her ex-husband, Dominic, called and delivered the unthinkable words, "Biddy's dead." According to media reports, the schoolgirl had allegedly been killed at a rural farmhouse in Orange, New South Wales. Though few details were made public, both parents were consumed by shock and grief in the days that followed. Rebecca later said her body shut down for 6 weeks. She couldn't eat or dress herself. Dominic recalled reacting physically when police told him the news, punching a wall in anguish. Their little girl had been killed by a teenager known to her, in an act so violent that the Supreme Court of New South Wales ordered the details of her injuries and manner of death to be suppressed for 20 years. The offender, a 14-year-old girl, was arrested within hours. In 2021, she was found guilty of murder, but declared not criminally responsible due to mental illness. Instead of a prison sentence, she was placed in a forensic mental health facility, where she remains under treatment. Her identity cannot legally be revealed. For the Porters, the verdict was devastating, leaving them feeling that their daughter's life had been overshadowed by a system that prioritized the offender's welfare. Their pain deepened when they learned that Betty's killer had been granted escorted day release and could one day be permanently released. My daughter's been killed. Her name's been suppressed. Her injuries have been suppressed. This person is out here getting day release. This is not what was promised to me, Rebecca said. Under New South Wales law, the name of a child victim of murder cannot be published without the consent of their senior next of kin. Though intended to protect privacy, the law effectively erased Betty's identity from public awareness. For years, her parents were unable to legally share her name, image, or story, a restriction Rebecca found unbearable. Biddy's memory needs to be honored, she said, calling it deeply disrespectful to suppress the victims of serious crimes. Every victim deserves to have their story told. In the Porter's view, the law silenced the innocent while protecting the guilty. The impact of Biddy's death has been catastrophic for her family. Both Rebecca and Dominic have been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder and severe depression, and neither has been able to return to work since 2020. Rebecca recalls, "I was in such shock, I couldn't feed myself or dress myself. 18 months later, I had a breakdown." Living in regional New South Wales, especially so rurally, the Porters struggled to access trauma-appropriate mental health care. Victim Services funding provided only $75,000 each in recognition payments and a limited number of counseling sessions, most of which were unavailable locally. When they turned to the legal system for answers, they faced further barriers. The Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, the DPP, refused to release the full brief of evidence or statement of facts, citing distressing content. The Porters believed this denied them transparency and accountability. Rebecca said, "Families should have the right to see how justice for their loved one was pursued." In 2024, 4 years after Biddy's death, the Porters decided they could no longer stay silent. With the support of Advocacy Australia and independent MP Phil Donato, they launched the hashtag Justice for Biddy Porter campaign, a movement demanding accountability from the institutions that had failed them. The campaign called for parliamentary inquiries into the DPP and the Mental Health Review Tribunal, the MHRT, reform of victim services, and a coronial inquest into Biddy's death. Their message resonated deeply. The campaign's petition quickly surpassed 40,000 signatures, triggering a parliamentary debate on October 17th, 2024. During that debate, MP Phil Donato spoke powerfully about the failures surrounding Biddy's case and the urgent need for reform. Rebecca described hearing her daughter's name spoken in Parliament as a transformative moment, saying, "It's given Biddy back her name, her precious name, her voice, and her identity, which was erased 4 years ago to protect her killer." Advocacy Australia's Alice Collins highlighted one of the family's key concerns: the MHRT's review process, which forces victims' families to relive their trauma every 6 months. The Porters are seeking longer review intervals and greater consideration of victims' perspectives. The campaign's momentum helped catalyze real legislative change. In November 2024, just weeks after the petition's parliamentary debate, New South Wales Minister for Mental Health, Rose Jackson, introduced the Mental Health Legislation Amendment Bill 2024, addressing reforms for forensic patients under the MHRT system. The bill passed Parliament in early 2025 and was assented to in March of the same year, a milestone achievement that Porter's hope will lead to fairer treatment of victims' families. Additionally, the New South Wales State Coroner has confirmed that a coronial inquest into Bridget Porter's death will take place in mid-2026. This inquest will examine the circumstances that led to Biddy's killing and assess whether systemic failings contributed to the tragedy. For the Porters, it represents another vital step toward truth and accountability. The hashtag Justice for Biddy Porter campaign seeks not vengeance, but reform. A justice system that values victims' voices just as much as it protects offenders' rights. Its goals include greater transparency in DPP proceedings, improved oversight of the MHRD, and stronger, more accessible support for victims of serious crimes, particularly in regional areas. The family's advocacy has drawn national attention and inspired similar calls for systemic change. As Advocacy Australia Chair Claire Collins said, with such significant public support, if the government fails to act, one must ask what it will take to deliver justice and essential change. At the heart of this campaign is a little girl who should have had a lifetime ahead of her. Bridget Biddy Porter was a joyful, curious, and compassionate child who believed in standing up for others. Her mother recalls that she was always trying to be a voice for those who couldn't use theirs. Today, her parents carry that mission forward. Through their courage and persistence, Rebecca and Dominic Porter have turned unimaginable grief into advocacy. Their fight is not only made in their daughter's memory, but for every family silenced by the shortcomings of the justice system. Their efforts have already led to reform and renewed awareness that behind every legal case is a human story, one that deserves to be told. Biddy's legacy is one of love, resilience, and hope. Her story reminds us of the importance of transparency, compassion, and accountability in protecting victims and preventing future tragedies. Though her life was heartbreakingly short, Bridget's voice now echoes across New South Wales, a symbol of courage, justice, and the enduring power of a family's love. The murder of Biddy Porter remains lost to time, justice unfinished, truth uncertain. This was another dark chapter from Old Casebook. If you wish to explore more forgotten crimes, subscribe, press the bell icon, and join us as we continue opening cases the past tried to forget.